And we were the first, let's say, foreign performing ensemble to actually dare go to Japan.
Music plays an important role in everyone's life. We listen to music every day while driving to work, going to school, or doing daily chores. But what happens if music becomes a part of you? You live and you breathe it. Sandy Reuning, the director of Ithaca Talent Education, did just that. He graduated from the University of Illinois and went on to do many great things for the Suzuki Association of the Americas, Ithaca College, and the area surrounding Ithaca, New York.
I think anybody who's passionate about whatever they do are influenced early on probably by two factors. One would be a teacher, and the other would be an environment.
During his early years, Mr. Reuning met many people that would influence him. However, one particular moment in people stood out to him the most and would encourage him to bring the Suzuki movement to Ithaca.
So here were these little kids traipsing on the stage at the convention center in Philadelphia. And number one, they're all about, what is this, 4 feet tall or shorter. There was one girl who was 12. She played the chanson poème, which I struggled with in college. It was a very difficult piece. And then most of these kids were 6 or 4 or 7 years old, you know, they were little. So here was this Japanese who, you know, I wondered, how do they know our culture, number one? And I just felt strange, and all of a sudden they started the Eccles Sonata. And the tone that came out of these little kids was so incredibly beautiful that it just blew me away. And I looked around the audience. Here were people with tears streaming down their face. Some hardened old guys sitting there who taught at Juilliard or Eastman and all the big schools, you know, and they were sitting there so moved by this. So that I thought, oh my gosh, this is just revolutionary. Because here were kids playing at a higher level than any high school kids that we had. And they were like 7 and 8 years old.
Besides Ithaca, Sandy Reuning has made an influence elsewhere in the world. His violin ensemble, the Heifetz Violin Ensemble, has been to 6 different countries, including Japan, Israel, Denmark, and Mexico. Over the past decade, Mr. Reuning has made a tremendous influence on the Suzuki program in Mexico.
Well, as you know, our colleague here, Mr. Demek Augusto, comes from a city called Guanajuato, right in the middle of Mexico. It's in a very historic city. It's on the United Nations historic site, you know, because it was Spanish. The Spanish went in there and started mining silver. And so it became the center for producing mined silver in the whole world. And so people came there and they made a lot of money doing that, you know, and they built beautiful haciendas, beautiful buildings, beautiful concert halls and so on. And so Augusto said, we should go there, and there was a lady there doing a little bit of Suzuki teaching, so we went there and we did a little thing. And then subsequent to that, we went every year and started training teachers. So that's mainly what I did there, was just train teachers every year, and they came back, they took book 1, they book 2 the next year, book 3 the next year. And so we sort of peppered the whole country of Mexico with our trained teachers, you know, and we'd always take two or three of us down just to do the training. And then we took kids down to demonstrate, give recitals, things like that. You know, so it's gradually grown up to, and then last year they had their first conference of the whole country of Mexico. Mexico City has a lot of Suzuki-trained teachers there that we had worked with, so we'll meet some of those again when we go.
I really like Mr. Reuning.
He's a really fun teacher.
Sandy Reuning first started violin in the small town of Wellsville, New York. The environment that surrounded him there encouraged him to continue his studies in music, first at SUNY Fredonia and then at the University of Illinois. During his college career and after, Mr. Reuning has played for the likes of Leonard Bernstein and many notable groups. He has done work all across the United States and around the world, bringing young children the ability to be part of the Suzuki method. With his Suzuki movement, Mr. Reuning has established one of the best private institutions for young children to learn string instruments, as well as one of the longest-running Suzuki institutes in the country. His accomplishments are not felt only in Ithaca, New York, but all across the world.